Hey, Slicers, it's Clay from Canada. You all know about the conversion, well, of course you know, the conversion of the reel-to-reels films to digital in all the theaters, right?
Yeah.
That because Hollywood said so, so it must be so. I was just wondering, well, we just lost our downtown theater because of it. They couldn't afford the changeovers, so they shut down because, well, if they're not getting reel-to-reels, they can't do anything. And that's the impression I get. But anyway, I was just wondering, has this affected anyone else? Has there been any other shutdowns of theaters going on out there?
Well, from what I understand, the shutdowns are for theaters that want to keep up and do new films, and they're not releasing on reel-to-reel. However, there are a lot of nostalgia theaters that are still doing the older stuff,
films,
doing the older films that are still on the old celluloid that are able to still keep operating, and they do it more as kind of retro theaters.
It's generally the small independents in the small market that are ending up getting nailed by this.
Right.
Your big ones, your big three cinema goers and all that kind of stuff have the capital to go in and do $280,000 a pop to switch over their projection systems. It's the smaller theaters, the two or the two screen, the 5-screen theaters run by a mom and pop for the past 50 years who don't have the money to do it.
Right, and it is sad that we're losing that. However, it's kind of the evolve or die thing because it is digital is where it's all going, and it makes I don't know. I mean. It's sad, but at the same time, it's kind of where everything is right now. Digital is king at the moment.
Well, and it cuts down distribution costs and all that kind of stuff. Plus, those celluloid prints, you can't grab a print from 50 years ago and play it. You've got a limited number of runs on those celluloid prints.
And that's it. The continuing expense on that. You have to continually keep redoing them over and over and over again because otherwise they just get so beat up, they're unwatchable, unshowable.
It fades, they crack. I mean, all kinds of stuff. They're limited life.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons why it's happening, and they're good reasons. But there's a little fallout, and unfortunately, some people are getting caught in the wake of it.
So is the technology just really expensive right now? And to convert to, and then will it go down later? So we'll see some of those theaters sort of come back?
It's partly supply and demand type of deals where you've got, say 10,000 theaters in the country. So you've only got the ability to sell 10,000 of these systems. Plus you've got all of the copy protection crap that Hollywood has in there above and beyond what you see in the dollar theater, or in your home theater stuff. You've also got the necessity of these digital distributions are not bring down a USB stick. These are all over the wire distributions. So you've got telecommunication costs that end up going into the theater. You've got to go from a guy having 4 lines on a trunk coming in with a DS3 or something like your typical internet provider would use in order to get these things down.
Yeah, because it's a massive download.
It's huge. Your 30 gig download for a movie ripped off of Blu-ray is nothing compared to that in raw, uncompressed format.
In large scale,
exactly.
Large
format.
Really
never thought about it like that, but it makes total sense.
Well, it's the theater. Your theater resolution's 8 times what you can get in your home.
Sure. Exactly.
So we won't have any mob and pop like BitTorrent theaters.
No.
That's a bummer. I like the idea of that. Underground
awesome.
theater.
That's
like
it. Where's the Netflix theater? There you go.
Well, I was thinking I'll just buy my own projector and just show it on the side of my house. It'll be fine,
go.
right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome.
Hey, Slicers, this is Anna. I have a question for Sam about Gravity. When you say you were terrified, is it like slasher film terrified or like bungee jumping terrified? I kind of want to know before I go because I don't really do the slasher film variety real well.
Yes.
If you're terrified because it was just a really suspenseful and lots of things were happening, but not necessarily like something was going to jump out at you, then I might could handle it. But it would be helpful for me to know which one was which because I really want to see this movie. It sounds really interesting.
So I'm with you. I don't like the scary movie Terrified because I'm a big chicken and everything scares me. And so I spend the whole movie with my hands over my eyes, peeking through my fingers, and then I miss the whole thing, and then why pay for it?
Right.
So it's bungee jump, not slasher. And that's why I really enjoyed it, despite the fact that I spent the whole time like gripping things and jump and going like, oh my God, what's happening? And oh, I can't believe, and I was like, I was making faces and throwing hands and sinking further down in my seat and all that kind of stuff. But not in a I'm scared that something's going to jump out, but in a holy crap, what's going to happen next kind of way.
What I heard actually from a couple of people who described it, they didn't describe it as quite the bungee jumping stuff. They termed it as realistic fear of death. Because it's that suspenseful that it's not the, oh my God, fun roller coaster ride. This is realistic enough. It's terrifying. Which was not slasher terrifying, but real life kind of jeopardy.
A little bit. Yeah. A little bit. Especially, I don't know, I can't say what it's like on the regular screen, but I feel like seeing it on IMAX like I did really enhanced that experience because the bigness of space, the vastness of it all, combined with the really masterful way he set up those shots and the point of view stuff, you know what I mean? It just all comes together, and it is really, you feel it.
It's an experience.
It is an experience. And I would recommend it, even if you don't necessarily like that feeling from movies, because I really don't either. I don't see scary stuff on purpose. But I would really recommend you have this experience while you can, while it's out in the theaters.
Wow. I'm going to get even geekier. I'm sorry. That sounds so much like just something you learn about in literature where it's called the sublime. Yeah. And it's like takes you to that point of fear where you're genuinely scared, but you know you're going to be all right. Yeah. And that's what it sounds like you're describing. And so that just made me like geek out for geekiness and geek out for literature. And I was like, yay. Oh my gosh. And I haven't even seen the movie, so I got to go see it now.
That's awesome. And the smart thing is it's like a 90-minute movie. This is not like a 2.5 hour terror fest. You know what I mean? He made it compact. It says what it needs to say, but it doesn't like put you through the ringer. You know what I mean?
So not multiple cardiac arrest, more like just mild arrhythmia.
For about 90 minutes.
For about 90 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
So the question that I have, and I think I already know the answer, is this like Pacific Rim where you really need to see it in the theater because it needs to be huge? Because I own Pacific Rim now, and I am so disappointed every time I watch it because I have a 70-inch TV, people.
And it's just not big enough.
It's not enough. It is not enough for this movie, and I'm afraid that's going to be the same thing with this.
Go buy a projector.
It's on my list to go see Gravity in just a regular theater to see the difference, right? Because I normally am not a 3D fan. We saw an IMAX 3D. I could have taken or left the 3D. That was fine, but I think the big screen. But I don't know because I didn't see it on the small screen, so it may be just as effective. But I feel like
that would add to that sublime terror thing because you feel like you're in space.
Yeah. Dude. Also, so pretty. So pretty. Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Well, there you go, folks. There's the feedback, and hope you enjoyed that. Of course, you know the numbers, 206-339-TREK. That's 206-339-8735. Keep sending those in. We will do them when we can get to them, of course, and use the iPhone app. Visit us on Facebook. Of course, Twitter. We're always on Twitter.
Everywhere.
We're everywhere. Thanks, everyone. We're going to have some TV geeking coming up next, so watch for that.